Hey, my name is Keith Hall, and I'm a CPA, and I work exclusively with small business owners just like you. We spend a lot of time talking about tax forms and compliance, how to fill out those forms and send more money to the IRS. But what I want to talk about are creative ways to keep more of your money, aggressive ways to make sure you pay as little tax as possible. So my next idea number 4, is let's look a little bit differently at your savings plan, how you are saving for your future. Okay, I got a question for you. Would you believe me if I told you that the IRS has a matching plan for your retirement savings account? Would you believe me? And my guess is you're shaking your head. And I'm talking about, you know, those 401k plans. Maybe you've been involved in those where you put some of your money away for the plan and the company matches it with 10 cents on the dollar or 25 cents on the dollar. Really cool deal, and you should get as much of that as you can. But what if I told you the IRS has up to a 50-cent match for those retirement plan contributions? Would you believe me? And again, my guess is you're saying no. But consider this. Let's say that it's April 15th. You've taken all the tax ideas that we've talked about. You've done everything that you possibly can do to make your tax return as good as it could possibly look, but you still owe the IRS $1,000. What are your options? Well, for most of us, the only option we've got, take out the checkbook, make out a check for $1,000, put Uncle Sam on the upper line, and send that money to the IRS. And that $1,000 will never be seen again. It's their money. But what if you did something different? What if you kept that $1,000? Put it in a desk drawer over here, okay? Instead of sending that money to the IRS, file an extension on that tax return. Okay, by filing that extension, you've got 6 more months before you have to send in the return. During that 6 month, find some way to save another $2,000. Now, unfortunately, we don't all have $2,000 lying around, so we're gonna have to save it. So get one more customer, go on one less trip, something, but find a way to save $2,000. Now, take the $2,000 you just saved, go back to the desk drawer and get the IRS's $1,000 out. Okay, remember that's the IRS money. Put it with your $2,000, go down to the bank and open a $3,000 self-employed pension plan contribution. Okay, now that is a qualified contribution that is fully deductible on your tax return. Goes right on page 1 of your 1040 and will reduce your taxable income by $3,000. Now, depending on your marginal tax bracket, the $1,000 that you used to owe the IRS now is wiped out. You don't owe them that $1,000 anymore. And you have a $3,000 qualified retirement savings account in your name, for your future, controlled by you, invested by you, all yours. And where did that $3,000 come from? The $2,000 you saved and the $1,000 that was gonna be in the IRS's account. That is a 50-cent match. You saved $2,000 and you end up with a savings plan of $3,000 in total. Now, is that cool or what? Now, why does it work that way? The reason it works that way is Congress, just like the rest of us, recognize that in order for us to have the retirement funds we're going to need, we're going to have to do that for ourselves. There's lots of concern about the Social Security system. Is that going to be available for us when we need it? Is it going to be available for our kids? I don't know. I hope so. But I do know I need to invest in my own future just like you do. Congress recognizes that, and they're prepared to subsidize it. If you put $2,000 in, they'll put $1,000 in for you. Is that unbelievable or what? You got to take advantage of this. Now, keep in mind, nobody's going to remind you to invest in your own future. You're not going to get a memo from the IRS. You're not going to get an email. Nobody's going to pick up the phone and call you and remind you to invest in your own future. You got to remember to do this. Now, there's a bunch of different options. There's an SEP plan. You can even use a traditional IRA. There's simple plans, 401k plans even for sole proprietorships. Lots of options, all of which will provide you a tax deduction. Now, I like the SEP plan the best, Simplified Employee Pension Plan. Now, it sounds really cool. Now, that's not the main reason, but you can contribute up to 20% of the net earnings from your small business into an SEP plan and reduce the amount of taxes you have to pay. The others work fine as well, but the SEP also gives you that extended period of time. Remember I mentioned file an extension on the tax return. Congress also recognized that we may not have that $2,000 lying around, so they're going to give us the time to save the money. A traditional IRA still works, but you have to make that deposit by the original due date of the return, typically April 15th. But with the SEP, you have more time. And even though it sounds really cool, Simplified Employee Pension Plan, it is easy to open as a bank account. Go down to the bank or your brokerage firm, sign a piece of paper, give them the check, and you have a pension plan. Very easy to do. But guys, remember, nobody's going to remind you to do this. Okay, this is an idea waiting for you to save money on your taxes. And the great news is you can even make that deposit now for last year's tax return. You can still save money when that tax return is not filed yet. So you've got to take advantage of this. Make a deposit for your own future and the IRS will match it. By putting money away for your own future, when it's time to sit down and do that tax return next year, you're going to end up paying less in tax than you otherwise would have. So this is my tax saving tip number 4. Invest in your own future and the IRS will match it, only in America. So hopefully that's helpful. Take advantage of that and pay less tax. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the links above and the links below for more detail. Also, make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. If there's something else you would like to see, just let us know. Email us at request@mahalodotcom.